So it looks like Senator Lindsey Graham is pulling some election shenanigans in Georgia. So with both a hat tip and apologies to the late Charlie Daniels, old Lindsey went down to Georgia. He was looking for some votes to steal. He was in a bind because Trump was way behind and he was willing to make a deal. Let's talk about the incredible shrinking Senator Lindsey Graham. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So let's take on two somewhat related stories that have been reported out over the past 24 hours or so. The first involves Senator Lindsey Graham, who has been pressuring the Georgia Secretary of State to toss out lawfully cast ballots. And the second story involves some reporting about what Joe Biden has been saying about his willingness or unwillingness to let his administration investigate and prosecute crimes over the past 4 years. First, let's talk about the ever-shrinking Senator Lindsey Graham. Here's the headline in the Washington Post. Georgia's Secretary of State says fellow Republicans are pressuring him to find ways to exclude ballots. That article reads in part, Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, said Monday that he has come under increasing pressure in recent days from fellow Republicans, including Senator Lindsey Graham, who he said questioned the validity of legally cast absentee ballots in an effort to reverse President Trump's narrow loss in the state. Raffensperger said he was stunned that Graham appeared to suggest that he find a way to toss legally cast ballots. Now, this prompted a tweet from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries saying the following: Did Lindsey Graham illegally pressure the Georgia Secretary of State to rig the election after the fact? The Justice Department should find out. And I will quibble with only one word of Hakeem Jeffries' tweet. The Justice Department must find out. And lest we forget, it was just a few weeks ago that Senator Lindsey Graham committed yet another federal offense, this time on TV, right? He violated a federal law, a federal statute, by begging for campaign contributions on TV in the halls of Congress. That prompted Congressman Eric Swalwell, himself a former prosecutor, to tweet this, quote, "This is a crime. Lindsey Graham committed a crime in plain sight." So we have high government officials, senators in this instance, committing crimes apparently to try to override the will of the American people, right? Pressuring the Secretary of State of Georgia to throw out lawfully cast ballots so Donald Trump doesn't lose Georgia. Here is some of the reporting, shifting gears now, by NBC News about what Joe Biden is going to do about these corrupt, these criminal high government officials. Here's the headline from NBC News. Biden hopes to avoid divisive Trump investigations, preferring unity. The article reads in part, President-elect Joe Biden has privately told advisors that he doesn't want his presidency to be consumed by investigations of his predecessor, according to 5 people familiar with the discussions, despite pressure from some Democrats who want inquiries into President Donald Trump, his policies, and members of his administration. Now, the article also says that Joe Biden indicated he would leave these decisions up to an independent Justice Department, but he wants to avoid divisive Trump investigations. You know, this really leaves us with one question that we have to ask ourselves. Can we really have our high government officials, our representatives, our senators, our cabinet secretaries, our vice presidents, our presidents committing crimes that go entirely unaddressed? And if we do, what kind of country are we? Now, I understand Joe Biden's desire for unity, desire to heal, desire not to have his administration consumed with criminal investigations of Trump and all his criminal associates. I understand that. So here is a suggestion, maybe even a proposed solution. Let's go back to the independent counsel, right? An independent counsel that is outside the Department of Justice, not a special counsel like Bob Mueller, who was beholden to who we now know was a corrupt Attorney General, Bill Barr. The independent counsel is entirely outside the Department of Justice, entirely outside the executive branch. That way, the independent counsel's office can devote all of its time, all of its attention, all of its energy, all of its resources to investigating and prosecuting the criminals, the politicians who have victimized the United States and her people, and the immigrants who came here yearning to breathe free, only to be thrown into cages and have their children thrown into other cages. The independent counsel's office can occupy itself with those investigations and those prosecutions, because those people have to be held accountable. And Joe Biden and his administration, they can get their governance on. They can focus not on investigations, but on reforming our government, restoring the integrity of our institutions, delivering health care to our people, getting the coronavirus pandemic under control, given that Donald Trump was entirely willing to ignore it and let it run rampant through our country, through our people. The independent counsel approach to investigating and prosecuting crime will free up the Biden administration to do all of the hard work that we elected Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to do, picking up the pieces of our broken government, fixing what Donald Trump and his criminal associates broke. Win-win. But at the end of the day, there can be no taking the high road, turning the other cheek, letting bygones be bygones, and putting this long national nightmare behind us by declining to hold criminals accountable for what they have done to we the people for 4 years now. Because that is the very definition of injustice. And folks, if we need anything at this moment, we need some justice. We need some accountability. We need some healing. We need justice. And justice matters. And as always, folks, thank you for tuning in to my videos on my YouTube channel. If you're interested, you can go ahead and hit subscribe. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Glenn Kirshner2. I'm on there all day and night trying to answer your legal questions. And finally, if you'd like to support our all-volunteer effort here, you can go over to patreon.com and sign up to become a patron. If you choose to do that, I will send you some Team Justice stickers with a personal handwritten note of thanks. So as always, thank you for your support. Team Justice is strong. Team Justice is fierce. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.